Do, 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 do. So, how was your morning? How was your morning, Debbie? How did everything go?
Morning is great. The sun is shining. My actual son, Kevin's in a great mood. I'm in a great mood. Can't complain.
Nice. Can't ask for much better than that.
That's right. It's all good. How about you guys?
Mitchell, what do you
Morning,
think?
I got up and I'm off today finally, so got up and made myself a big breakfast and got some energy and getting ready to start the day.
Awesome.
Now, Debbie, is this going live in your group? Did you put this in your group?
Yeah, I'm
Yep, I
looking
see
at
it
it
now.
right now.
Okay, I see it now. I actually just found it.
Hello, warrior friends.
Hello, hello. We're going to get started here momentarily, just getting the tech side stuff set up. Um,
I'll let John take care of all the technical stuff.
Oh, yeah. Go for it, John.
That goes a little over my head.
Yeah, we'll just keep smiling, Mitchell, while he does all that stuff.
hey, Debbie, didn't you say that this group is going public in
Yeah.
April?
Yes. I thought it was actually today. I haven't actually gone on to see, but last night I was up past midnight and it didn't allow me to change it to public yet, but it's coming up. Absolutely. We're going public. Yeah.
Because unfortunately, that means that this isn't going to work. We are only being able to go live in your group and your group only.
Okay. So what we could do,
What
Facebook's,
about after we're done? Couldn't we share it to
yeah, yes, I'll give you a copy of the video and you guys share it to your world. Absolutely. Yep.
Well, that's the thing. So if we're going to do that, then we could just get into Facebook. Okay. Because the way I'm trying to think about this is that obviously if we do that way, the only people that are going to see this live is obviously this group, and then the video that you give me will have to be recorded in the recorded and put in iHeart Anxiety. So I guess
Yeah, like I can just give you the video for your YouTube channel, for your face. Yeah. Let me just bear with me for one second and
me?
I'll see
Sounds good to
if
me.
it allows me to change it to public, okay?
it's okay. We'll go ahead and we'll ride with this so we can we can
Okay.
get you started here. Um, Let me go ahead and I got that pulled up. We got this going.
Because I can check really quickly on my other screen to see if it's going to allow me to go public.
Oh, okay. No, it's not a problem. We can go ahead
Okay.
and keep it going because I mean, honestly, the main thing was just to get to get more people involved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so I am John, and that is Mitchell on the far left. We are iHeart Anxiety,
Yep.
and today we are doing a chat with our wonderful friend Debbie Gallant. She is
Hi,
a part
Debbie.
of she's a part of the mental health community as well. And in a few moments, we'll introduce her so she can talk about what she's currently afflicted with and how she's dealing with it. And I just want to let everyone know that this is going to be a normal thing. We're going to try to get as many people on as possible to to really open up the community and get the stigma away from us. That we are regular people and we do have lives, and we're here. So that's basically what this is all about. So Debbie, if you want, real quick, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're about?
Yeah. Thank you, John. Okay. So I have always been passionate about making a difference for others. And um, lo and behold, I was provided a gift, my son, Kevin, who has autism and many other complexities to do with the mind. I call him a gift because he is my teacher. He has made me realize what's so important in life, and that is to embrace our uniqueness, find our purpose and passion, and rise up no matter what struggles or tests we're put through during our our time here. John, when you say we're just regular people, I think I've got to go a little bit more than that. People that struggle with mental uniqueness, I don't even like to say illness, because we can overcome and be the highest version that we're meant to be for the purpose that we're here for. We're all born to be alive. And anyone that struggles with mental illness has either been shamed or controlled and believe that there's something wrong with them. Whereas our thoughts create our reality. So when we're ill, we actually make ourselves even sicker.
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
Yeah. So to make the long story short, October, November, like I've always been someone to help my community, to help kids, to help wherever I can. And my husband and I created a learning center here in Nanaimo for kids with special needs. So that's thriving. We planted the seed. It's doing amazing. So as time went on, I started to notice that I was getting unwell. I was having severe panic attacks like you, John. I was having anxiety, chronic dizziness, vertigo. And I think, John, you told me you have that as well, right?
Yeah, we're on the same spectrum, I believe.
Yeah. So, of course, I went to the doctor, and, doctors have a place, and we did a whole bunch of medical testing. Through that medical testing, I got diagnosed with other issues in my head. So brain aneurysms was one, and a pituitary weird thing. I don't even know what it is, but they won't confirm it unless I biopsy, which I'm not doing. But so I reached a really low point in my mental health, and I wasn't present for my son, and I've always been a grounding for my son. And he ended up, talk about connection with each other, he ended up in psychiatry intensive care unit for 1 month in my community because I think he felt my pain. I think he felt where I was at. And his support worker, Trina, she was also dealing with pain and trauma at the same time because she was losing her mother. So his grounding, like the people that are important to him weren't there for him, which put him into more illness.
Yeah, I bet.
Mitchell, my son actually has a seizure disorder as well.
Does he?
Yes, yeah. And so, we went through medication change for him and everything, and he's doing much better.
Excellent.
And I work with him with his mindfulness about coming from a place of the heart rather than the mind, because the mind is so powerful. So, yeah.
It is, and I like what you were saying. If someone tells you something's wrong with you, or you feel like something's wrong with you, and that's what you tell yourself, then you're gonna believe that. But really, there is nothing wrong with you. That's just an unfortunate label people use to put on people.
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to get away from with pay it forward, ripple effect. You've got a powerful story, and you're your heart is full of gold, both of you guys, right? And that's exactly it. We can all find our passion. We can all find our purpose. And our illnesses should never define us, because I believe, I know, I don't even say I believe now, I say I know, because I know how powerful I am, that I am healing myself within. So when I have my next MRI in 6 months,
Yeah.
they're going to tell me my aneurysms are gone, or that they've they've lessened or whatever. I just know that
I hear you.
I'm healing myself.
Absolutely. Well, Debbie, that is a hell of an intro. I mean, you've got a lot going on, and I think you're a strong woman, and it just shows that you've got a lot, that you've been through and that you've conquered. And it's amazing that, you have come back from it and come, and to be a champion for other people in your same, arena. We appreciate, everything that you've done, even though we're not a part of it, in your community up there, we still appreciate that you're moving forward and that you're helping people like us try to find a better way and understand what they're going through. Having said that, when I do this interview, I like to kind of be silly sometimes, start, silly in the beginning just to start it up, kind of get everything loosened. So, Debbie,
yeah,
what is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Yes.
I would have to say love.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great word. I like it. Okay. Another silly question. What gets your blood pumping, good or bad?
Oh, that's an easy one. When I get super excited, I can feel my heartbeat racing, and it feels amazing.
What do you know? Well, like, what's the easiest thing you get excited about? Like, what immediately do you see and you're just like, wow, okay, I'm jolted now.
When I know that I've made a difference for someone else.
When you can see it.
Okay, I can see that. That would be a great feeling, because I know I haven't been able to talk to very many people besides Mitchell on the live video, but if I were able to see someone, kind of light up after I said something, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
Birds chirping.
Okay, like kind of like Sound of Music type of
nature.
Yeah. Music soothes the soul, right? I love music too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, this next question, just hear me out. We all try to be, the best that we can be, and we all try to uphold ourselves to a certain standard. But give it to me. What is your favorite curse word?
Well, I don't swear too often. I mean, I have sworn.
It doesn't actually have to be it doesn't have to actually be a curse word, but in your world, what would a curse word look like from Debbie? What would that look like?
Golly George. I don't
know. That's all right, Debbie. That's okay.
Yeah, that's a funny one. Yeah. Crappy.
What'd you say?
Crappy.
Crappy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Here's a more tame question. How about this? What profession, other than your own that you're doing, would you like to attempt?
Well, it would be connected to my passion. So I would have to say a spiritual leader, life coach, life enhancement guru, soul rocker, visionary, all of the above.
All the above in one, huh?
Yeah.
So you want to be an Aerosmith groupie. Got it.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, last silly question for you. You have a room, a desk, and a car. Which do you clean first?
My room.
Okay, why is that?
Because wherever like if I'm in my room, I don't like to see chaos. My desk is kind of chaos, but
Yeah.
my big view has to be in order.
No, I agree with you. The place I go for peace needs to be clean and
Yes. Yeah. Because I think, like I've always given my daughter this message that if you're living in a pig pen, then your life is in chaos as well, because
yeah.
you create what you live in as well. Like it's all connected.
Awesome. Well, I love it. So, and those questions will get better as I get more experience, believe it. So,
Oh, I love them.
What we're going to do now is we're going to get into the meat of the interview, kind of find out, what you think and, how you interact with our community and just basically just kind of get a more deeper sense of who Debbie is. So what's going to happen is I have all the odd questions and Mitchell has all the even questions. So we're going to switch off asking. And,
okay.
It's not a lightning round per se, but we do have about 16 of them. So, we want to make sure that we get your full response, but that, but we obviously we all know here that we could probably sit here talking for 3 hours, not even, think about it. So,
yeah.
Oh, I know it's like a social, yeah.
Yeah. So
Sure.
obviously you don't need to hurry through your answers, but just like I said, just know we do have 16 of them.
Okay.
So here we go. First question. How can we better educate people without these conditions to facilitate better understanding and acceptance?
Well, okay. So I think what we're doing with our groups is really important, because professionals and leaders that don't live with a mental illness, I'm going to use the word mental illness just because that's what it is right now, right? They don't live with it, so they're not aware. So making others aware that we have been shamed and controlled by stigma, and we all have beautiful, powerful minds, and it's time for us to rise up and shine. I mean, look at Einstein. Look at, look at, we
Stephen Hawking.
Yes, yeah. Our brains are wired differently, absolutely. But it doesn't mean that we're not okay. You know what I mean? We believe that because we've been programmed to think that there's something wrong with us.
Just like you were saying a minute ago.
Exactly. Yeah. So awareness to others, John.
Okay. Being better aware of the people around you. Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. And we all matter. We're all equal.
All right.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll kick off the second question. Have you noticed any change in the mental health community in the past 5 years, or do you think anything will happen in the next 5 to 10 years?
I do notice a change, and the change I notice is for the good. I notice that there's a lot of groups, organizations working really hard to destroy the stigma that's attached to mental illness.
Yeah.
And more, right? Mental illness and more.
Yeah, you're right. I do see a lot of groups popping up, and I think people that do have these problems, just really want to feel included in something. So the more options that they have, the better they're going to feel.
Exactly, Mitchell. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Well, what is the biggest challenge for our community at the moment?
I think the biggest challenge for the community is self-awareness of who we really are and learning to embrace our imperfections ourselves.
Yeah.
So instead of, here's an example, if you have a cold, you feel a cold coming on, instead of saying, oh man, I hate this cold, or I hate, right, negative thoughts,
Right.
reprogram and say, I'm going to feed this cold love. I'm going to embrace this cold. And then it'll change your thoughts and you will heal yourself from the cold.
Yeah. It won't be half as bad as it could have been.
Exactly. So it's embrace. So if you think you're fat, embrace it. And then eventually you're not going to create that fatness anymore because you're changing your programming.
Yeah. I'm all on board with that. I think you can wire your brain to think whatever you want. You just got to choose the right thoughts.
That's right. Yep.
I agree. That's a huge thing. Mitchell and I talk about it all the time on our show with a lot of different subjects, but we basically say around the same thing where, you know, a lot of people just don't accept it as themselves, and they kind of label themselves as their disease rather than that, you know, it's just a part of them. It doesn't define them. So just overall acceptance.
Yeah.
I think that kind of answers the next question, but it was just, you know, what is the biggest change that people that do have mental illnesses need to make to face the future? And I think you pretty much said it, you know, really just embrace what you have and make it the best possible.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you are dealing with those false beliefs that we've been convinced through our upbringing onwards, it's a tough one. And I always say, like, start with positive affirmations. That's what I did. I used to go out and scream into the, like, when
Perfect.
I was for a walk. I am healthy. I am powerful. I am a warrior. I am lovable. I'm, you know, I have a purpose. And
my sister actually taught me about positive affirmations, and one time she wrote me a big list of things I could tell myself to make the day better. And she taught me about all that, actually.
yeah. And you know,
information.
yeah. And you think about it, like our subconscious is the part that looks to the outer world for acceptance, right?
Yeah.
And our conscious is the one that keeps us standing. Everything is just, it's automatic. It's energy. It's our machine. So it's our conscious that holds all our memories, right?
Yeah.
When we change our programming and our subconscious and conscious are hearing each other, that's when the computer reprograms. So our conscious is our computer, subconscious is our outside world.
Okay.
Yeah, are you following me?
Yeah.
So that's a good way to look at it.
So when those two actually hear each other, connect, and you can reprogram your conscious, you become a higher version of yourself, and you start to believe that you can heal, you can manifest, you can do so much. But it does take work, and it doesn't happen overnight. And there's a lot of surrendering that you have to do because of, you know, like the worries, the anxiety, the fears of the unknown, all of that stuff. You have to learn to let go of it and purge it. And then what I always like to say is be mindful of the negative. So anything to do with negative thoughts or negative energy, don't let it waste space in our sacred mind. Because what happens then is we're feeding off negative energy. If we want to come from a place of love, which is me, which I do, and light, then we only want to let positive thoughts, positive energy into our mind.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
I agree. Yeah. This next question is a little wide open just because it can go either way. But
Okay.
what effect has the internet made on the mental health community? Is it good? Is it bad? Maybe both? What do you think the effect of the internet has been?
Well, I like to see the good in everything. So I would say the internet is an amazing platform to get power. It's a vessel for messages that we need to get out to the world.
Okay. So it's kind of it's what you make of it, maybe what you kind of make of it.
Yeah. I mean, it can be very hurtful too, right?
Right.
But I mean, yeah.
It just depends what you use it for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You two are using it for the good, for the greater of the good, just like I am. So
yeah, this is the good part of it. This is the good part.
Yeah.
all right. Well, the next one we got is who or what is making the greatest advancements for people that suffer from these mental illnesses, and what are they doing?
Who or what? Okay. Well, I think it takes a village to help someone that suffers with any kind of illness, whether it's cancer, diabetes, mental illness, chronic illness. And it's real. Like the pain is real, the suffering is real. And learning to be with it and accepting, you know, the professional help. We need our professionals, we need our medication, we need treatment to help. But we also need, you know, the love and the support of family. And I see mental illness because of stigma. It doesn't get the love and support that I think the other illnesses do, because of the fear and the ignorance and misunderstanding of what it's like.
Yeah. I think that's a big problem. If people can't see it, then they don't pay no attention to it.
Exactly. Yeah. You got it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have, just real quick to add on to that, do you have a maybe a life coach or somebody that you follow that is making strides in the community that you follow that maybe somebody else could find particularly useful?
I have many life coaches that, and like I say, when I first started my group, I was not here. I was far from here. I was just about making a difference for mental illness. This group has helped me in so many ways. I can't even, like, yeah, I'm just open to learning. And if it makes sense to me, then I go with it and I learn. And that would be my message, is absolutely. I have many warrior friends that are helping me become who I am. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. What is the most interesting trend in mental health for 2019? What have you seen out there? Maybe some rock salt lamps, heavy blankets. Is there any trends that you've seen so far that have been particularly interesting?
Well, if you look at my background, I've got all sorts of spiritual stuff happening now, and I never had that in October, November. I've got the salt lamp, I've got the selenite lamp, I've got crystals, I've got oracle cards, I've got, so my spiritual being, or learning, being that higher me, is definitely helping me. So self-awareness work for sure.
Okay. Well,
I've done Reiki, I've done singing bowl meditations. Meditation, I love being still and meditating now. I never ever used to do that. Well, and funnily enough, you guys, when I first started doing meditation with friends like yoga, I could never, I could never catch my breath when they said, take a deep breath in. I could never get my breath. It was always like, I felt like I was going to hyperventilate because I was like, right?
The breathing is different.
Yeah. Since I've done the work and I've done meditation, Reiki healing, and really, really working on my energy chakras, like from the root to the third eye, I can take the most amazing deep breaths, and I can't tell you what it feels like to be able to do that.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable. So it's almost like, wow, it feels amazing just to breathe.
Yeah.
Right?
To really dive into the inner health and figure it out, to learn about it.
Yeah. And I know, like, when you guys deal with anxiety, so you probably know exactly what I mean when you feel like you're, right? You're like gasping for air.
Yes, I can identify with that. I can definitely identify with that.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the best outcome for the mental health community as a whole would be? What would be the best outcome possible? What comes to mind?
To be accepted, to feel like you belong.
Yeah.
No shame, no embarrassment, no hiding. Just to be able to be supported. It's okay to perceive the world differently. Instead of picking up a pencil and using it to write on a piece of paper, it's okay to smell it. It's how they see the world differently. You know, my son has autism and he sees the world through completely different glasses.
I bet.
And he's amazing.
Yeah, I would say just acceptance overall is probably the biggest key to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you guys. I think that acceptance, and also I think education, better education for the younger generation, somehow reforming our education system to somehow incorporate mental health awareness. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a class, or it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, taking up a lot of, you know, just where people are forced into this, you know, conversation they don't want to have. But I think either, you know, if we want to start out with like elective, like it could be an elective course, or it could possibly just be integrated into biology or some kind of
commercials. A little 30-second commercial while people watch TV to tell them some stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I mean, advertisement has hidden messages, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
And that's another thing I have to tell you guys. Listen to music. You know, once you do the work on yourself, it takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this next question, excuse me.
That's okay.
What is the number one way we as individuals, what can we do for ourselves that will make a difference?
Are you talking like all of society or us with mental uniqueness?
Well, I think this question is a little broad, but in general, you know, we as a people have a lot of, you know, insecurities, and we have a lot of, you know, like different little picadillos that we have about ourselves. And there's a lot of people that aren't even aware that they have a mental health issue. And, you know, they kind of, you know, they're not very accepting, but they don't realize that they also have, you know, they give off these personality traits that would suggest that there is something not quite right. So basically the question would be, you know, is there something that we as individuals can be doing, you know, be it yoga, be anything that can make a difference, to be more self-aware of what's going on within us and not make us so callous to everybody else?
Mm-hmm. I honestly think that mental problems hit home in every house because we all have to learn to let go. You know, like we all have to learn to grieve. We all have to, we all struggle with trying to be the best version of ourselves. Or, you know, like society makes us, um, it tests us. We're all being tested. It doesn't matter who we are. And I think everybody has to struggle to a point, not as much as we have, but I also think that we have more trauma, pain, confusion, misunderstanding, ignorance, right? So when we decide to look at it, like what is it trying to teach us? What are we trying to get out of this? Even death. Let's take death. It's horrible. It's heartbreaking. I think it's one of the toughest lessons for all of us to learn in life is to let go.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be there. So if we are fearful of dying or fearful of what's going to happen to us in the future, we're not living because we're living in fear. And fear is a negative energy thought. So one thing I've learned, and because that was one of, like, I've always been fearful of my future because of my genetics and my, right?
Okay.
Right.
And I've always felt like I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough because I'm different. I've always felt like I didn't belong. I've always had, right?
I hear you on that.
So once we realize, you know, that we are powerful in who we are, then the fear almost disappears, or we surrender to it. Like it goes away. Like I'm not fearful because I know that we're all gonna die. I mean, we could all die tomorrow in a big nuclear. Who knows, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to go there, but so I tell myself now that I'm gonna live to 100 years old, right?
Well, you got to put it out there somehow.
Yeah, and I live in the power of now, which means I appreciate and I'm grateful for everything that surrounds me. I appreciate being able to wiggle my toes when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, that's something having epilepsy has kind of taught me. I mean, because when I do go through episodes, I guess if you want to call it, of having seizures, you know, you're not in control. You don't know what's going to happen. So all the moments that I'm feeling healthy and I'm not having seizures, I'm just very grateful for everything, the weather, the breeze around me, what I have in front of me, just anything and everything that really makes you aware of all of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's life-changing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if we think of that as a gift, because you're so grateful to be alive, it's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think my biggest struggle has been trying to hook on to things that take me away from my reality. Just, you know, being upset about having epilepsy and seizures, and you just look for anything, you know, like excitement, caffeine, alcohol, anything that gets you away from your problems. I mean, I think I'm on the right path. You know, I do appreciate what's going on and what I have around me, but I think I need to dive a little deeper into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Right, what we got?
Oh, yeah, I guess I got the next question, don't I?
You sure do. Number 10.
Apologies.
No apologies needed.
So, I'm sure growing up, you know, at some point throughout life, you really had a moment to where you had to recognize what was going on with yourself. You were just learning yourself as a whole. And I guess, was there a time or any specific thing that made you decide to face your problems and actually decide what to do about them? And were there any roadblocks with it, or how did you overcome it and get to where you are now?
I would say it it got really bad for me a year ago when I started having chronic vertigo. And
Really? So this was pretty recent.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, no, before like November when I first started my group, I was like you, Mitchell. I was looking to fix my problems. I was looking to fix my children. I was looking for answers. Um, you know, and I've always been one to never give up,
Yeah.
to always seek answers, right? So, I mean, we participated in brain research study for our genetics, and you know, so I've been around, but I spent hours researching, you know, Google like pituitary and support groups and stuff like that. It wasn't until my son ended up in PQ, which is psychiatry intensive care, that I realized. I woke up and I thought, I'm killing myself. And Kevy's, you know, like he's feeling it. And that's when I
So you
woke
kind of
up.
woke up one day and you decided, you know, it's time. It's time to do something about this. It's time to change the way I think and feel.
And the most powerful thing that I've learned so far to date is, yes, it's great to help others. I love it. It's my passion. It's my purpose. But the
At the
most
same time,
the first and foremost, the most important thing that anyone can do is love themselves,
yeah.
all of them, all of them, all of yourself, imperfections, the way you think. Who cares if you're a slow talker or you process slowly? Embrace it all and take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your temple. Eat healthy, get rest. Don't put toxins in your body.
I think that's one of the hardest things, though, when you have any kind of health problem, mental or physical, and anything that limitates you to, I don't know, to anything you want to be doing. I think that's the hardest thing is learning to love yourself. I mean, it's just so hard when you constantly have boundaries every day. Like, how are you supposed to? It really takes some time to learn how to love yourself and love all of you and be
Yeah,
happy with yourself.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I
if
concur.
yeah, and if you think about it, we're all born to be alive,
Yeah.
right? All born for a purpose. And you know, we all have the power. I call us superheroes. We're all powerful. We're all equal. And it's finding what drives you, what you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is, you know, the meaning of life is simply to live. I
Yeah,
think
that's it.
sometimes it just gets a little overworked, a little overthought.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Debbie, I got I think an important question that a lot of people would probably like to have some kind of answer to. This, you might not necessarily have the answer because you're going to talk about the issue itself, but I think this is one of the biggest things that people deal with mental illness. What are the common misconceptions that people have? How can we combat these misconceptions and communicate effectively? So basically, you know, what are the common misconceptions that you personally have dealt with that people have had about you, and how do you deal with them to communicate?
Well, I basically, you don't know. I don't know everything. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't have the answers to everything. I think the misconception around mental illness is exactly that, ignorance, right? We
Yeah.
don't we don't know. I mean, I don't. I think I try to know, and I think the best thing that we can do, and my son's taught me this, is to, if you're going to be surrounded by someone that is struggling with complex neurodiverse issues, then meet them where they're at. Get into their world. Try and see through putting their shoes on, because it is all confusion for a lot of people, because there's misunderstanding about mental illness. It's real.
I think that's a great point, because I'm sure John can relate to this. People that don't, I don't know, so I don't want to say normal or don't suffer from any of these problems, but you know what I'm trying to get at. They'll often try to pull you, like you said, into their world and try to make you just a different person instead of putting themselves in your world and trying to relate to you and then going from there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm brutally honest, John. I say, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, speak your truth and, help others, and I think the more people that pay it forward, like we're doing with these groups, and the more we get the message out there that our beautiful, powerful minds, even though we think differently and we see the world differently, we are beings here, and we have the same abilities and powers that normal people have. And in saying normal people, tell me what normal is.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that, further actually. So
yeah. So who's right? Who's wrong? Right?
We all are.
Exactly. So yeah.
This next question might be a little more personal, but I don't know. I mean, of course, you don't have to. You can. Doesn't have to be the personal answer. It could be another answer. However you feel. But facing your problems and getting to where you are now and the mindset you're in now, and you're comfortable with yourself. You're facing it. You're taking it on. Do you remember like a specific experience or time before you got to your mindset now that you would have done or handled differently, knowing what you know now about mental health issues?
You're talking about like negative thoughts that I had prior to doing the work that I've done?
I don't know. I mean, just a kind of any moment in life that was big, like a big moment in life that you would have handled or executed differently, knowing what you know today, or in this mindset that you weren't, years ago or something.
Right. Okay, so we'll go back, say a couple of years ago, and when I was dealing with my son, this is heartbreaking. I still have a hard time talking about it, but when he was going through his teenage years, so we're going back, he's 24 now. I had to let go of him because I couldn't keep him safe and keep my family safe. So I ended up putting him in a group home.
Okay.
And that killed me. Like, it killed me at that time. When I look back now, it was for the greater good. But
right.
I definitely did go dark. I did think, like, what's the purpose of my life? Why am I hate my life. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
There's much pain. And there's been lots of tests with my son. He's been put into Queen Alexandra and Victoria Hospital, 6-week live-in program. It's been pain. There's been a lot of pain and suffering there for sure. So yeah, I've been there, but there's always been a glimmer of light. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I've always had the voices in my head saying, "Don't give up. You're unstoppable. You can do this. You got this. It's gonna help you."
It was
So
just maybe a little smaller window of positiveness than it is now.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've been in dark places for sure. Yeah.
Naturally. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm aware of the darkness and I'm aware of the light. And
Yeah.
I love the light.
Now you can choose. Now you're conscious of it.
Yes. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell, are you done with your question?
Yeah.
All right. So this next question, we can all think back to a time when actually, it probably can be now, but we've been going through this. You've been going through your current condition for about a year, but you've been dealing with aspects of mental illness, for your entire life. Is there a question that people ask you that you're tired of answering and that you want to just answer now and never have to answer it again?
Is there a question? I'm just trying to think.
Making you think today.
Well, it's kind of funny because I've always made a difference with my situation, like creating the learning center for kids with special needs in Nanaimo. I'm always looking at the positive aspects of what life throws at me.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I get all the time is, I don't know how you do it. Right? I don't know how you do it.
Okay. Yeah.
And to me, we all can do it,
Yeah.
And the sacrifices that we do to make things happen, they're real. And it can be tough sometimes. And you do take risks. But again, I can't remember if I said this. It's like we're playing a game of life. Do you know what I mean? And we're always going to be tested. Even to this day, I'm being tested every day.
Yeah, definitely.
And now I know that I'm going with my intuition, how I feel, what kind of energy I get from the situation, from the person. So does that answer it?
Yeah, no, that's great. I think what you had just mentioned in the very beginning, I mean, I don't think people understand. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and I apologize, but I don't think people understand that their natural curiosity is sometimes defeating to the people they're asking these questions to. It's kind of inconsiderate of the way the person is handling their current situation. So, and of course, everybody's different. Everyone takes questions in stride, and everybody's so sensitive, and I understand that. But when somebody has been dealing with, mental health, maybe a son, a daughter, a family member in general that is suffering, the last thing you really want people to say to you is, how do you deal with it? Like as if your life is so bad and that, how could you possibly, I'm surprised you're not, you haven't taken the door out yet.
Yeah. And then kind of asking like you have a choice. Like, you know what, you're right. I don't want to deal with this. I'm done. It's not an option. You don't have an option. You got to keep.
And that's why I say at the very beginning, like us that struggle to be accepted, I mean, it's real. That pain is real and we do suffer. And that's why we're the warriors. That's why we have so much power and strength. And nobody should ever suffer alone. Nobody. No, like we need to ask for help. We need to reach out. We need to have love and support. It takes a village for all of us that are struggling with our minds because I mean, I know my mind doesn't like I have racing thoughts. It doesn't go away. I have anxiety. It will never go away. I have panic. I feel like I'm dying when I have a panic attack. You know what I mean? So those things are real. But when we tune into them and we realize that it's a message, it's something we gotta listen, be still and listen, because it's a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that answers the question. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. All right.
Oh, where'd you go?
I was growing up, and for me and John, we didn't even realize we had problems until our teenage years, our late teenage years, and then it just kind of got sprung on us, and we had to learn to deal with it. Do you have a piece of advice you would give someone that maybe just got their diagnosis of having an actual problem? And, what would be the strongest piece of advice you could give them when they realize their world is never going to be the same?
Right. The advice I would give is it's on the positive side, it's on the light side, and we all have a purpose and we all have a journey, and our end result is to become the highest version of ourselves and to get that much closer to God. And having a diagnosis isn't going to define you. It doesn't define who you are. If anything, it should make you stronger. And I always look at flaws or like whatever we're struggling with, instead of seeing it as a negative, see it as a positive. See it as growth. You're growing from it, and then rise up.
You're blossoming into the flower you're supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
That's some good advice. I like it.
Yeah.
No, that's excellent advice. Definitely, I think when people start their journey, they're immediately self-defeating, and they ask questions like, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I do anything right? Now I've got this problem. Everyone's going to make fun of me." And nobody really stops to think, you aren't just this. There's so much more to you than just what's happening just in that particular spot. So it's what you choose to do with your new platform. It's a new journey. It's a completely new, in my eyes, see, I'm always positive. That's why I named our group I Heart Anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I may not like anxiety a lot of the times, but I love the fact that it brought me to this place where I am now, where I can talk to people, and because I'll be completely honest with everybody whoever sees this, I would probably be just as ignorant as the next person. I'm not going to sit here and say that I would have been a spiritual person and I would have been enlightened. I was a kid. I mean, of course, I can't say that I wouldn't have gained enlightenment throughout the years, maybe having somebody who did have it and all that. But I think if I was just to grow naturally, we just don't have enough resources and education about mental illness in general. So I would have never have known that there was this complete, shut off society that needed a voice and needed help. So segueing into that, my question is, what is the best resource? So be it a group, be it an online book, or an organization, anything that you can think of. What's the best resource for people to dive deeper in understanding their new journey?
I've always used support groups. So people that are like-minded, that are kind of dealing with the same sort of situation as what we're dealing with, right?
Right.
So, like growing up with Kevin, I joined the autism groups. I joined seizure groups, epilepsy groups. And then once we got the genetics, I joined that group. And you know, then you're connected to like-minded people that are loving and supportive and meet you where you're at. I think it's really important for us to be met where we're at in our journey. So if we're taking the spiritual route, then you're going to want to surround yourself with spiritual leaders and life coaches and positive people, right?
Right.
If you, you know, if you know, like recovery groups are really good if you're dealing with addictions, right? Because
Absolutely.
then, so suicide recovery, you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That answers that question. I mean, that's the best you can really do. I mean, join the people that are going through something similar, you know, and try to meet them where they are, and just, you know, have you know, again, united we stand, you know, divided we fall. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay.
All right, I think I got the last question today.
You sure do.
All right. This is, I guess, you know, just a pretty broad question. It's nothing specific. We've covered a lot here, but is there anything we've left out or we haven't talked about that you think should be addressed, or any last points to be made? Anything that you've had on your mind about all of this that you want to get out, or anything?
Well, I'll leave on a positive note for everyone. This goes for everyone, and it's a powerful message. It's dream, to believe, to achieve, to succeed.
Okay. I like
that. I like that a lot.
Anything impossible is possible.
It's all up here, guys. It's all up here. You just have to unlock it. So I definitely agree. Debbie, we're probably all running out of juice. Well, Mitchell's probably running out of battery over there. But we enjoyed this and thoroughly having you on and speaking with us about your journey and where everything for you has been heading and where you might be heading to.
Yeah, that's amazing. I definitely just learned quite a lot from you, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Awesome. Well, you guys are connected to me now, so we'll be talking again.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be other opportunities. Maybe, if we get a chance, we can do an interview for you, and we'll go in that direction, and people can find out a little bit more about what's going on with us. Now, for our viewers, Debbie is the owner of Mental Health Matters, Fear Less, Love More. Her group can be found on Facebook.com. You just have to search in the search bar for Mental Health Matters, Fear Less, Love More. If you want to be a part of her group and find and more interviews that she's done, she's got a bunch of videos up of other warriors, as she calls them, that have been going through a lot of different things. So I'm sure that you would find her group very beneficial because there's a lot of different topics that are covered here. But I mean, honestly, we have done the deed. We have got it going. This is our contribution to the universe today. So, that's really it for Mitchell, for Debbie. I'm John, and we will talk to you mañana.
Adios.
Awesome. Bye-bye.